Alright, today we get into the details, going from my, quote, misdiagnosis, neurological autism, to my actual vision impaired diagnosis. Visually impaired. Visual impairment. I'm sorry, I wanted to say it right. So, here we go. We're going to go from the tender age of preschool all the way to around second grade. I used the school ages to gear the timeline. So, use your eyes over there. Focus. Look this way. Positioning my head. And other stuff like that were key signs that there was a problem and that we looked into the problem. We went to like a Tufts Medical Center thing where they're like, you think elephants are called heffalumps and they're purple. Oop. Apparently that one thing means I have a problem. We went to a specialist, a special doctor that specializes in eye-related and brain-related disorders, even though he had the machines that the eye doctor used later in the story, but he still didn't see anything wrong, so he just concluded it was autism with the neurological disorder with my eyes and my brain not linking quite right, the optical nerve. Excuse me. I needed to clear my throat to get that one out for some reason. And there were more signs. When I was really little, I'm not sure if this happened in preschool as much. This hair's annoying. It's too shiny. So I'm moving it over. Okay, I moved it behind my ear. You know, I like that. I'm going to copy that on one side. Okay, ooh. My hair's behind my ears. Okay. I don't know. Tell me if you like it in the comments or hate it. Oh, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm probably not going to leave it that way because my ears are going to get weird, but I like that for the video. Okay, back to the video, back to the talk. I'm rambling. Alright. When I was very little, I'm not sure if I did this in preschool anymore, I did this. I twisted and twisted around. I did it with my head, I did it with my upper body, and they say when you have a visual impairment or even a neurological disorder, that's how you get stimulation to your brain when things aren't happening and there's not as much activity in the room. Perfect timing for me to put my hair behind my ears because it was more in control, so that was good. So I twist my head. I do it really fast and they even try to get me to stop it. I didn't even realize I was doing it because, one, I'm a little kid. Two, I don't know enough about myself and the world around me to know. And when you're a little kid, you don't know like what's right and wrong socially and physically. And there are other things that led them to believe I had like a neurological disorder, like autism, because these disorders affect the body. They thought my feet were too flat. I think I mentioned this in a short. I forgot about my feet. I forgot about my head. My feet were too flat. My head was too flat. But my head's still that flat, and I'm fine. My brain is normal, for the most part. I'm fine. I came out of the womb looking like an octagon, and I think I still have the top of that octagon on my head a little bit. They thought my feet were too flat. They thought my head was too flat. They thought I needed special, what are they called on the foot cookies? Like you put these circle things in the bottom of the inner part of the foot, the shoes. They're called like foot cookies. Because they're like doughy, like cookie dough. I don't know, it's weird. See, that's weird. So this was happening. So they diagnosed me with those two disorders. And I was going through my preschool life. They were reminding me of the same things. They were using the reminders specialists told me about, like, using your eyes over there, look, positioning my head, focus, make sure you wear your foot cookies or whatever the heck they were, dude. I didn't wear a helmet. I think they dropped the head thing because it was like, my head wasn't that abnormal. I might have worn a special hat. I don't remember that. I think they dropped it. I think they just tried to fix the foot cookies because honestly, I think walking was better. Here's why I think my feet were, quote, too flat. And some blind YouTubers around have mentioned this too. Visually impaired blind people walk more flat-footed, so they don't heel-toe, roll their foot, and really utilize the ankle muscles and joints. I think what I was doing was when I was little and my eyes weren't matured and we didn't know about my vision impairment, I was probably walking like foot by foot by foot, like little steps, and I was probably walking flat-footed because like I couldn't see right. A lot of places I went to were dim, and because I didn't know how to use my eyeballs, because no matter what vision we have, we're learning how to use our senses when we're little. I was walking with flat feet, so that probably made my feet flat, and the foot cookies actually probably helped correct it, because eventually after that I was more of a heel-toe. I was still walking with a shorter stride. This is coming from a visually impaired person that has super long strides now. But when I was little, and even though I can't like voice in words the chaos going on around me, I was probably sensing like the chaos around me. My parents, teachers, specialists, doctors, trying to like figure out the neurological disorder, the autism, and stuff around me. So I'm like, well, I still can't see, so I'm gonna walk flat-footed. Other things related to my autism. So I talked about the neurological disorder stuff. Autism, yes, shaking your body, shaking your head. That's related to why they thought I had autism. Eye contact. Like, if I stare up at the top of my iPad right now, my eyes probably look more staring straight. But for the most part, during a video, I'm staring at myself on the camera while talking, because I figured if I look towards myself, my eyes are looking in the right direction. Don't know why this iPad's shaking. Whenever I shake my legs when I'm talking about these intense situations, the iPad's just shaking with the tension, because I've got that crisscross applesauce style over here. Another thing with the autism, so I wasn't looking straight ahead. I wasn't looking at people's eyes. And whenever we did crisscross applesauce, where you like sit with your legs looking like a semi-pretzel, I didn't do it because visually, I don't know. When you say crisscross applesauce, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Because when you're little, because of the vision, I wasn't paying attention to how other people were sitting. You're in your own world. You're out for you, considering all these adults are throwing diagnoses in your face. So when they're saying crisscross applesauce, and then they're saying don't sit in the W, like when little kids, they have their legs more behind them in like a W. I'm like, what is not sitting in a W? And what does sitting in like crisscross applesauce mean? I do think it's cute and it does help a lot of kids, but in this situation, no. So, use eye contact, look at me, crisscross applesauce. Why do I need to care about staring in your eyeballs, considering the fact that I can't see enough to conceptualize the nonverbal reasons to stare into someone's eyeballs? In other cultures, it's rude to stare into someone's eyeballs. But in America, you gotta stare into people's eyes. I'm better. I'm significantly better at eye contact. Crisscross applesauce? Okay, crisscross. Okay, I'll cross my feet and hope it works. And I sit with my feet crossed, not my legs. I don't know. How does that, what does the applesauce have to do with my freaking leg and feet and butt? It's cute. It really is the cutest thing to say to someone. Crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap. Okay, now I get the hands in your lap part and crossing your feet. Well, where's this stinking applesauce? I think it should be called crisscross. I think it should be called crisscross pretzel frosting, or like crisscross pretzel salt. Because it's a pretzel. You're sitting in a pretzel shape. Kind of. It's not really. Like, you can't twist your legs into that. You can't twist your feet into that tied knot in the middle of a pretzel, but it's close enough. It's close enough. Crisscross pretzel salt. Hands in your lap. Dangling frosting fingers or something like that. I don't know. I just rhymed. That was weird. So we go further. I'm like in my second year of preschool. And I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to follow these teachers' instructions. And they're just trying to be patient with me because they know, she has like this disorder where her eyes and her brain don't connect. So we're trying to establish good habits so the connection between the eyes will be better later in life. I get it. They're trying to make sure like my eyes and my brain aren't fricked up forever. Like maybe if we have her establish her habits, mature her brain and her eyes, they'll strengthen a connection. I don't know. The autism, they're trying to be patient because that's inevitable. It does develop, and you can be a functioning adult depending on your autism, I think. It's a spectrum. Now we know it's a spectrum. I don't know what end of the spectrum I was put on because it was a misdiagnosis, not a true diagnosis. And visually impaired people, we've found that they have autistic tendencies because the social cue issue, not being able to read nonverbal communication and eye contact and responding to cues like crisscross stinking applesauce or whatever, is related to visual impairment and autism. But my teacher, Miss M, noticed I was fumbling in my the closet hanging backpack hooky thing. Let's just call it backpack nook closet. I don't know. Backpack nook closet. I like that. It just rolls off the tongue better. And it was dim and dark, and I was like more whiny in that circumstance. And when I was playing with toys and blocks, I was more fidgety, and I looked confused and dumb and because colors and contrast. If I drop a blue block on a black rug, if it's dark enough blue, it looks the same. So they notice that. They get the head of the preschool, Miss HF, involved. She had one of those hyphenated last names. I always think hyphenated last names are they're freaking cool. So like, preschool teachers are their first name, Miss M. So her name begins with an M. And specialists have their last name, except Miss P. I don't know. Like Miss P, the teacher of the visually impaired, got involved too. She liked her first name being referred. I think a lot of professors are doing that now. A tangent on teachers' names. Okay, so we get the preschool head and the teacher of the visually impaired in the building involved because Miss M, the preschool teacher, is an expert on autism, and she knows a little bit about neurological disorders, but the autism was the main focus because the neurological issue with the eyes and the brain was like a secondary of the autism, which I think it should be a primary, considering a lot of the symptoms were related to visual, but whatever, it worked. It was the way God worked it out in the end. I just realized I don't have a Bible verse in front of me, and I just started filming. Okay, I got stuff behind me. I'm good. Okay, maybe I do have autism because I'm like going down tangent rabbit holes. No, I don't. Everyone does it. Okay. So they get the preschool director and the TVI involved because they're like, Well, there's a lot of visual issues. Some of the autistic issues, symptoms, warning signs, whichever you call them, not all of them are being exhibited. She's not exhibiting all of them. Not that everyone with autism exhibits all of them, but some of the more common ones I wasn't always consistently struggling with. They saw that I was struggling more with visual things. So they had the preschool director observe, TVI observe, and once the TVI observed, she's like, oh yeah, we got a visual problem. We got a vision-related problem. To be fair, visual impairments and discovering them earlier on is new, and most of the people who are visually impaired in my era, they just figured it out at birth. Like, if someone's significantly blind or if they can't see a significant amount. The issue with me is I was on the higher end of the visually impaired spectrum, which means I had a significantly higher vision. Still legally blind, but I'm like right on the edge of being like just low vision. Like right on the edge. I'm going to do a video about like the difference between visual impairment and low vision. Because some people want to eliminate the word visual impairment. But it's necessary, especially with the spectrum I just displayed with my scale hands. So I was on the higher end of legally blind. We find this out later. So Miss P recommends that we go to Children's Hospital Boston for an eye doctor appointment, just to see if there is a visual impairment. And it's just to like rule it out, because at this point we were with Dr. B, the weirdo that didn't see a problem with my eyes, even though he had all the same machines and technology that the eye doctors at Children's Hospital eventually had in the story. We're getting a little sus at him, because these preschool teachers and the teacher of the visually impaired, who knows a lot about visual impairment, were starting to point things out, and he was just pushing back. He's like, no, I didn't see anything in her eyes. I still don't see anything wrong with her eyes. It's still a neurological disorder, and her brain and her eyes, and autism's just adding to it. And we were telling him about how I wasn't exhibiting all the issues with autism, and he was pushing back. So we go to the eye doctor. If you remember this previous video, we saw a doctor named Dr. F, famous in the visual impaired community for retina-related visual impairments, inherited retinal disorders, whichever. They both work. So they have to like look at your eyes through machines, microscopic, laser-ishy. They don't do lasers in your eyes. It like has a laser pinpoint precision thingy that goes up and down. I don't know. They just have a lot of different cameras that go boop, 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 or they just look and it doesn't do anything. And there's like the cameras have like a red, a blue thing that goes boop, 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 boop in the middle. It's like, it's really weird, especially when your eyes are dilated. Those things are, it's like a simulator. You're looking into these, you're seeing like these alien laser blue, and like, it's like, is this like sci-fi right now? So back to this. It was a regular camera. It didn't have any of those boop 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 things. It was just, she looked. It's just like when they put the binocular looking microscope camera to your eye, but you're not looking in it. They're looking at you. Like, you can't see them. They can see you. 5 seconds. Not even 5 seconds. She's like, oh, there's something going on. Yeah, I see something in her retina. So we go through the long day. I did the eye doctor video already. Shout out to that. I'm going to put the link to the playlist in this video, like I usually do. Not even 5 seconds. And then by the end of the appointment, we got the real diagnosis. Could I have shown autistic tendencies? Yes. Is there something wrong with my eyes and my brain? I would say, like in theology, in Christianity, and a lot of complex philosophical areas? Yes and no. More leaning on the no. There is not a connection issue between my brain, my octave nerve, and my eyeballs. There is not an issue between my brain, occipital lobe, and my eyeballs. But there is a yes in the sense that if my eyes and my retina have an issue, what my brain is receiving as what the body can see is flawed because the eyeballs are broken. They have like a problem. My brain is interpreting what the eyes are giving to it. So the brain isn't the problem. The nerves, the lobe aren't the problem. The eyes. What I'm seeing is flawed. The only reason why there's a problem with the brain is because the brain is taking in and interpreting flawed visual data. Yeah, let's go with data. So, I get diagnosed with RPE 6-5, or as they say, they named it after a person, Leber's congenital amaurosis. RP is retinal pigmentosa, the progressive disease where your peripheral slowly closes in on you, and if you have typical retinal pigmentosa, it will close until it's like you're looking through 2 paper towels and then mini toilet paper, and then it eventually just closes in, where you might have shadow and light perception, that's it, and then eventually it will, for the most part, a lot of cases takes your vision. Mine wasn't as progressive. I have noticed my peripheral issues are coming back. I'll talk about my Luxturna surgery gene replacement treatment in another video. The E65 is the gene mutation that I have. That's my next video. I'll talk about what the heck gene mutation. I'm a mutant? Well, my eyes are mutants, so I guess if I'm my eyes to a degree, I am a mutant. So the mutation in my retina, which affects rods and cones. Rods taking color. No, wait, I'm saying it backwards. Rods taking light, cones taking color. Cones, color. Rods, rays. Let's go with light rays. So rods taking light, cones taking color. So that's why I have color issues, lighting issues, night blindness, contrast issues, and then that all affects the acuity and central vision issues too. So there's the real disease diagnosis. I get back to preschool, I finish my last year, and now they know what's wrong with me, and they're starting to stop say, like, over there, look, focus. They do it to a degree because, like, how are sighted people not gonna do that, considering most of their students are sighted? They help me more in my cubby, locker, closet thing. They help me when I drop stuff. They still sit over there, because, again, I have some sight, so it's tricky. But the real diagnosis was finally found. Sorry, I keep coughing. I got a little pollen stuff there. So the real diagnosis is here. Okay, what am I gonna do for scripture? Considering I didn't bring any. Oh! There's one way up on top of my wall. It says, I'm with you always. It's from Matthew 28, the Great Commission, where Jesus sends the apostles out to build the church and preach and save people in the greater Roman Empire area, which is huge. So, no matter what's going on, no matter what troubles you face, if you're facing misdiagnosis, real diagnosis yourself, if you're on a journey, especially me, I'm speaking to myself in the sense that if you are going through a phase where you're losing your vision, it's progressing, or maybe you got a treatment, the treatment's not what you thought it was, God, Jesus the Savior, God incarnate, is with us always by the power of the Holy Spirit and the fact that God's everywhere. He's with us always to the very end. Normally I'd give away that scripture, but that's on my wall, so I point at it. Point at it. I point it out verbally and tell my parents, read it. There. Check. So, if you like this video, I don't have my signs with me. Give it a thumbs up. Good, I'm making sure I could see my own thumb on camera. And when you give it a thumbs up, it will push it out to more people. You can share it. I'm doing like a squiggly with my finger. Share it, because if you share it on social media, YouTube will share it with other people too, because that's what the algorithm does. Doing a square hand now. Subscribe to the channel, because when you subscribe to the channel, you get more fun videos, and more videos where you get to hear some relatable stories and experiences. And YouTube will push out the whole channel to more visually impaired and other people that could be helped by these videos. I'm doing more of an up curled hand. If your YouTube isn't exploding, ring the notification bell. I'm wiggling my hand back and forth to be like a bell. If you want to get the videos as soon as possible, know about the latest video first, or the closest to first, or like on the day the video comes out, and YouTube will do its algorithm thing to help people get the newest, latest, greatest videos and playlists and all that stuff. Link down below, pointy arrow down. I will put the stories and experience playlist in the description. Thank you. I know this is a little long because I rambled and I did some tangents, but this is necessary in the sense that maybe it's a relatable story and it's good to process when we visually impaired people acknowledge that these life experiences were real and affected us. So that's it for now. Bye-bye.